Now, I can't really say that I would have predicted that we would return to these rumbles in the ruins. However, earthquakes have not only been added to themselves, but Beardo needs to add a ton of stuff that past Beardo missed in the quickish bit guide thing there. So put on your hard hats, everyone, and let's get to it. And no, seriously, you're gonna want to not underestimate the power of a quake, everybody. Occurring naturally every 1 to 3 days, each mineral rain lasts roughly 10 to 15 seconds, dropping 5 to 6 loots during each of them seconds, potentially damaging those that get hit. And while they won't hurt most structures, they will ding us at 30 a pop if we don't dodge them properly. A process that should be rather simple given how telegraphed a drop is, but it will be difficult sometimes. Sort of like how it's difficult for me to admit that we somehow missed antlions in rage quakes all them years ago. But actually called cave-ins, these see big boulders falling from the earthly heavens en masse, and these do damage structures in addition to us, so be mindful there. But while we're on the topic of unique and dangerous quakes, we should briefly make mention of that of Don't Starve Together's newest rumblings, rift quakes. Only seen once a fuel weaver is dead and a beckoning hand appeased, these two shower us in boulders that don't actually land on structures, but do fall in great numbers regardless, especially if there are more players around. They're a bit strange, yes, but all these boulders are full of additional minerals and technically are free impassable walls, so do with that as you please. To continue though, to last unique quakes, any use of a telelocator staff down under does not result in a teleportation, but instead a teensy tiny concentrated earthquake. It's very cool, but there's a huge problem. Falling minerals already break 75% of the time, but always shatter when hit with another, and that's practically guaranteed here. But lastly, the mini big tentacle quakes. When killed, a small exclusive earthquake occurs near these giant hentais that can result in rocks, slime, turf, tentacle spots, light bulbs, tentacle spikes, and even a skeleton on either end of them. And yes, it's a thing, but truly only a once a day thing more often than not. Make notes. After we don't forget to include one of the better ways to cause a quake nowadays for a second time, mind. Wickerbottom's Luxate Turna novels, rechargeable at a bookcase for practically infinite use on top of their very cheap recipes in general. I think you get the picture. Now make your notes, as it's time for the other specifics here, starting with the extra loot that we keep mentioning. 37.5% of the time, we will get either a rock or flint every second. Gold, niter, rabbits, and mole worms all have a 5% chance to drop and hopefully stay intact. And finally, red and blue gems, as well as marble, all have a 1.6% chance to be the items dropping from above per second. It's truly not bad, and actually farmable if you've got the patience. However, it's not the be-all end-all. The Lunar Grotto itself has a varied take on earthquake loot, as while rocks and flint will still very much be present 20% of the time, we've also got a 20% chance at care rats, stone fruit, moonglass, and naked mole bats each. But finally, no loot drops from the ceiling of the Ancient Archive, as there are no flippin' earthquakes in the Ancient Archive, everybody. Take advantage. And you know, not just of the loot, by the way. For you see, earthquakes also trigger a few of mob behaviors like that of slurtles, rock lobsters, and spoo monkeys. The former all slowly slug their ways out of their mounds following a quake in search of minerals to eat, resulting in slurtle slime galore more often than not. The middle pack of mobs also kind of start to roam around and eat the stuff, but that's about it. The latter, however, has finally returned to returning to their pods during a quake. After this mechanic was a bit broken for a while, and this is actually a much bigger deal than it might seem. Spoo monkeys drop whatever loot they are carrying and wearing when fleeing back home, so if you can force a quake in certain scenarios, you will get all your stuff back instantly. But hold up, Beard. Force an earthquake? Is that even possible? Actually, yes, and it's pretty easy to do too. All explosions down under help speed up the earthquake's 1 to 3 day timer by a given number of seconds that gets multiplied by the potential stack of whatever the heck you're exploding. Gunpowder speeds things up by 200 seconds. A Slurtle Slime does so by just 50. A Slurtle themselves offer a 300 second boost. And finally, a Slurtle Mind reduces that timer by 50 seconds overall. Yup, it's a whole thing. But it's not the only thing to influence earthquake timers at the end of the day. A sneaky mechanic is that of a fully fledged nightmare cycle actually helping to speed up that timer, although it will only ever do so by 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 3 minutes and 30 seconds no matter what, because that's how long a fully fledged nightmare cycle actually lasts. But of course, we ourselves can also force earthquakes to occur much faster, or just not at all. Have fun. But before we truly go, well, let us address those who likely saw this video's original upload and then wondered what the heck happened. In short, someone told me that you can farm earthquake loot with a lazy forager to prevent stuff from shattering, and I was 99% certain that that wasn't true. Still, it could have been a big enough thing to derail the entire video, so I took it down and filmed some additional footage to prove to you all that no, we can't actually save loot with a lazy forager. So carry on. As there you have everyone, earthquakes updated and revisited for all of your rumbling and bumbling troubles. And one last note, yes, mole worms do burrow once dropped down here, which is something that Beard got wrong like an umpty. But thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all, look to the skies even when there are no skies to look at, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.